So we can cut the music, right? Blaring into people's offices right now. All right. The key is whether everybody can hear me, but don't play it on there because it was a feedback. All right, welcome. Joe Soto here with One Social Media. Appreciate those of you who are online for joining us this afternoon. We got a great short show for everybody. I'm going to talk about LinkedIn, and I've been actually spending a great deal of time in recent weeks delivering talks and speeches on LinkedIn marketing and how you can increase the effectiveness of your LinkedIn profile. So first of all, for those of you that are on this show listening right now, let me just say, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing the boat. There's over 90 million people that have a LinkedIn profile set up on LinkedIn, and it's growing every single day. Here's a really interesting stat for you. It took 494 days for LinkedIn to hit 1 million members. And now a new member joins every single second. That translates to 1 million new members every 12 days. LinkedIn is the fastest growing social networking site for business professionals. And if you're smart and you use it smartly, there is no better place to make connections with people that could be ultimately your customer, a strategic partner, or simply somebody you'd connect with that could be somebody you refer others to down the road. Think of it as your digital Rolodex. And I was telling a story to a group of people last week about how today's new generation of business professionals, your 20-somethings, they don't even know what a Rolodex is. The Rolodex you used to keep on your desk with a little card file, and you flip through the card file. That's foreign to them. And I told the story how one day I had my Rolodex on my desk, and it fell off my desk one day. I thought maybe, and I couldn't find it. I lost it. So I thought it had fallen into my wastebasket in my office. So the next day I said to the janitor, I think you might have taken my Rolodex, all of my business contacts, all of the cards I've ever collected. I think you've thrown it away. And he says, "Don't worry, Mr. Soto. I'll check the trash. You know, we're sure to find it if we accidentally put it in a trash bag and collected your trash." And the next day he comes to my office and says, "I'm really sorry. We've had no luck finding your Rolodex." And I said, that's okay. I guess I'll have to figure something out. And that's kind of, it was really like, it's like a woman losing her purse, right? And that evening, I was walking out the doors to go home, to go to my car, and I see the janitor standing at the door, and he says, "Have a good night, Mr. Soto." And with a very apologetic smile, he says, "I'm really sorry we couldn't find your watch." And that proves the point that people don't know what a Rolodex is anymore. So, what's the point? Get on LinkedIn and make the most of it. I'm going to give you some good tips, because on LinkedIn, if you are on LinkedIn, chances are you have it set up with just some work experience, and you use it almost like a resume service. Now, it's true that people are using LinkedIn to hire other people. It's true that we don't hire anybody unless they're answering an ad that we've set up on LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn's hiring solutions are currently being used by 69 of the 100 Fortune 100 companies as of December 2010. I'm sure that number is climbing still. So certainly it's useful for that. But I want you to think about this as well. It's the largest audience you have of influential, affluent business professionals. And on LinkedIn, you have a chance to target a very specific demographic of people. And I'm going to give it to you right now. The average age of people on LinkedIn is 43. The male-female split's pretty even, but here's an interesting stat. The average household income of somebody on LinkedIn is $107,000. That's why it's the world's largest pool for you, if you were contact database for people that are in that more affluent and influential category for work professionals. So if you're selling a luxury item, or if you're selling higher-end real estate and things like this, you want to connect with your prospects on LinkedIn. So I'm going to give you some tactics for LinkedIn, because I think what people miss on LinkedIn the most is the power of the LinkedIn search engine. Here's a stat for you that I think is mind-boggling. On LinkedIn, there were over 2 billion, that's billion with a B, people searches on LinkedIn in 2010. So it wipes out any question of whether or not people are searching for you on LinkedIn. And so here's my advice. If somebody's searching for a keyword, or they type into the LinkedIn search engine in the people search a keyword that's relevant to you and your business, let's say you're a real estate professional, and they type in real estate professional, Chicago, Illinois, do you show up in the search results? Now, if you go and type in real estate or Chicago realtor, do you show up in the LinkedIn search results? You see, people have LinkedIn profiles, but they don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to optimize them. They don't know how to show up in the search results effectively so they can start generating leads. I had a company that came into our office today representing a fantastic social media tool that our company can leverage. And I said, how did you find us? And he said, well, I found you and contacted you using LinkedIn. LinkedIn works, and it works for helping you develop those strategic relationships like the one that I was introduced to today, who found me on LinkedIn, but it also helps you find leads, because if someone's searching for what it is you have, for the service that you offer, you want to show up. You don't want to be on the 20th page on LinkedIn. And we had a client of ours who wants to show up for leadership training. When you type in leadership training, there were over 700,000 results on LinkedIn. That means 700,000 people have the word or term leadership training in their LinkedIn profile. And so I said to him, where are you to be found? Are you on page 500? Are you the 436,000th person on the search results? And what if you were the top 10? What if you showed up in page 1, similar to how you would on Google? And keep in mind that LinkedIn profiles are showing up on Google, so it's important to make sure your LinkedIn profile is keyword rich. And it starts with paying attention to your headline. When you're on your LinkedIn profile, the very first thing people see is your headline. Some people refer to it as your online bumper sticker. Someone sees it, they read it real quick, and they're going to make a judgment call whether to click on you and your link to see your profile based on your headline. So, if you work in a business and industry that has given you a boring title, okay, if you're a systems engineer, right, or you are a communications director, no one's searching for generic, very simple terms like that, or very niche specific, terms in terms of your title. You need to put something that's relevant to what people are searching for. And they're searching for very specific things in LinkedIn. They're typing in leadership training, leadership trainer. They're typing in Facebook application specialist. They're typing in realtor Minneapolis, or real estate a realtor in Indianapolis. They're typing it in specific to their business and their city, and you want to show up on the search engine. So make sure your headline is keyword rich. Make sure that your headline also says what it is you do and what you can offer in a very short value statement of 120 characters or less. But use all 120 characters if you can. Here's another great tip. Your summary section of your LinkedIn is probably fairly bare. It's not a place where you give someone your long bio of who you are and how great you are. Your summary should say, this is who I am and here's the value I can add. Joe Sweeney, who wrote the book Networking is a Contact Sport, who I've had a chance and the privilege to meet a couple of times, he actually said in a talk I saw him give that if you want to be a master networker, learn to add value to other people's lives. And that's true as much as it's true for meeting people in person as it is for meeting people on LinkedIn. How can you help somebody else? Your mindset, your frame of mind when you're approaching your LinkedIn updates, your LinkedIn conversations, when you're looking to connect with somebody new on LinkedIn should be, how can I add value to this person? I noticed they work for this company, and I just met an individual that works for a firm that can help their company. Maybe I should do an introduction. Maybe I should refer each other to each other, refer them to each other. These are things that you've got to be thinking about, because that's what people appreciate who are connecting to you. They appreciate you adding value and not just promoting something to them. I connected with a gentleman yesterday evening on LinkedIn. I thought his LinkedIn profile looked interesting. He's a CEO of a company that I'd be interested in learning more about. But as soon as I connected with him, he sent me back a promotional response. And all it said was, "Hey Joe, check out this link. It'll take you a couple of minutes." And the link took me to something else that he's selling in his part-time business. And after I puked, I thought about, why don't I contact this guy and let him know that LinkedIn and social media isn't just about promoting your business and services. It's about adding value. What can you contribute to other people and help them? How could you be a good connection? Think of it like that. If somebody decides to connect with you on LinkedIn, what value would that give them? Well, Joe, they need my product and service. They might, and that might be true. And a lot of people that they know might need your product and service. But you want to wait and nurture that relationship first. Don't ask before you give. So here's some other quick tips and tidbits that I'm going to give you before I turn it over to Alex and Mike, two of our social media project managers here at One Social Media, so they can share with you their answer to the question of the week, the social media question of the week, and you don't want to miss it. So on LinkedIn, here's some other things I'm going to encourage you to do. I want you to think about video. I tweeted earlier today something to the tune, I think I put, how come so many people fail to use media in their social media outreach? This is Ustream right here, live and in action. You're seeing us broadcast live from our corporate offices. Although you might think I'm in Times Square, but if you haven't figured it out, we're in West Des Moines. But here in West Des Moines, we're broadcasting live on video. This is a way that we're using media to reach out to you. And we also use video on our Facebook. And you can go to facebook.com/onesocialmedia. We appreciate you being a fan there and contributing and asking questions on our fan page. We use video there. We incorporate video sometimes into our tweets. We incorporate video all the time into our blog posts. Our last blog post, which was a review of the book that we reviewed last week on this very show, includes the video from this show archived on there, and it includes a slideshow presentation, which is another form of incorporating media that Guy Kawasaki did to help promote and market and kind of showcase the concepts in his book. And so we're using media all the time as a social media firm. But what I can't get over is how many people aren't using media in all their social media sites, including using it on LinkedIn. So let's start with that. Most of you would agree with me that if you could get in front of someone one-on-one and they said, "Hey, what do you do?" you could probably give them, sometimes not real well, a 30 to 60 second, what they call elevator speech, right, or elevator pitch. You could tell them in under 60 seconds what it is you do and what value you could add to their lives, to their business, what service you could offer. So if you can do that, which I'm hoping everybody can. I was at a local chamber of commerce and I let a few people get up to the podium and share in 60 seconds or less what it is they do, what value they could offer people seeking services that are related to their business. And so I ask you, you obviously know that being able to do that with somebody face-to-face is very powerful. Doing it over the phone, not as powerful, but still effective because you can talk to the person, hear the voice tone, and get a feel for them. Well, I always say that a picture, if you're using picture and photos as media on your social media, that's fine. But picture says 1,000 words, though. What does a video say? So how many of you listening right now, and how many of you watching this as an archived show, because we're going to archive it after today's live airing, how many of you have a video on your LinkedIn profile? And if you don't raise your hand and say, I do, then I have to ask, what are you waiting for? What's stopping you from using more media in your social media? So you want to amplify or enhance your LinkedIn profile? The best way is to add media by adding a video of you. You can add multiple videos in the SlideShare application. You could add a video using the Google presentation. And here's the best tip I can give you, because some of you are thinking, man, I don't know the first thing, Joe, about adding video to my LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to help you. Here's how you do it. You Google it. You go to Google and you type in, how do I add video to my LinkedIn profile? And you will find hundreds of results for people that will teach you how to do it. Most of those people don't have it on themselves. But go and get it and put a video clip. Well, Joe, I don't have any video. Go get some. If you've got an iPhone, you can record a video and you can upload it to YouTube and you can put it on your LinkedIn profile. 30 to 60 seconds, very casually saying, here's who I am, or offering them a tip. I talked to a young lady who was a flower shop owner just 2 weeks ago. And she said, what kind of video would I put on my LinkedIn profile? I said, I don't know, maybe 5 things that people do wrong when they're trying to plant and grow flowers. Maybe it's 5 common mistakes people make when they're buying flowers for their wife or daughter, right? And you give them tips, give them value, make them think about why they would want to go to you as a flower shop, because you're giving them some advice, some pieces of information that make you valuable. So that's my LinkedIn tips for today. There's a whole lot of things that you want to be doing on LinkedIn that you're probably not doing. You need to be adding your events, you need to be adding your Twitter, you need to be adding your blog to your LinkedIn and really tricking out your LinkedIn to make it get results and to show up in the search engines so people find you and so you can generate leads. It is the single best lead generation social media site on the web, hands down, period, if you learn how to use it accordingly and you nurture those relationships. Okay. That's it for today. You can find out more about LinkedIn by going to our website, onesocialmedia.com. Type and click on free ebook and download the ebook. But don't go away, because in the next 10 minutes you're going to hear now from Alex and Mike, who are going to share with you some valuable insight into their social media question of the week. All right? Thanks for coming. I'm going to turn it over to them now.
Yep. Hey everybody, I'm sure you're used to seeing Rob's face right about now, but I'm Mike and I'm taking over for him this week since he's in sunny Florida.
And I'm Alex. I'm a project manager as well. So Mike and I work together in an office, which sometimes tends to be interesting.
It's pretty interesting. Usually more interesting when Rob's around, but yeah, we've got dart guns, crazy animals running around, pretty much anything you can imagine we've got going on in the office at some point in time.
Yeah, so people enjoy stopping by our office. Who do we all have come by? We had some of the Kosama people over there.
A lot of our clients will swing in, grab a Nerf gun, shoot at us. We have little kids come by sometime. I don't know, I think I saw Charlie Sheen at some point.
I wish. Okay, so let's start off with our social media question. It is from Lauren Stencil in Virginia, and she said, should what you post on one social media site be posted on the other, i.e. Twitter or Facebook? Okay, so in my opinion, this question has a few components to it. The first is the content. Honestly, I think you can post what you're posting on Facebook to Twitter, or the other way around. Would you
Right.
agree?
I would definitely say the message that you're trying to send can go on both Facebook, Twitter, and any other social media site you can think of. I think the key is going to be how you write it and how you send it out on those sites.
Right. So that means that your post is just going to look different on Facebook versus Twitter. It's still going to be the same message. It's still going to be the same content. It's just going to have things like @ tags and hashtags. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the @ tags. And do you want to take over the hashtags?
Yep, I'll talk about hashtags.
Okay. So I came up with one. If this were my Facebook page, I probably would have written something like this. And it says, "Thanks to Charlie Sheen, I had a winning day at the office." And it's going to look something like this on your Facebook page. Now, that blue part is @ tagged. So Charlie Sheen is @ tagged, and it's a hyperlink. Now, you don't see the @ in there because it doesn't show up that way on your Facebook page. It's just going to show up as blue, whatever you have @ tagged. So, before you do anything, you're going to, like that post that I just had, Charlie Sheen, I would want to go to his page and I would want to like him. Then I would go back to mine, and in the status section I would start writing "thanks to," and then I would put the @ symbol and start typing in Charlie Sheen. Usually it'll pop up in the very bottom. It'll just be like a scroll down menu, and you can choose from one of those, and then it will automatically go in there and turn blue, and then you can just finish up typing what you want to say, and it'll post in there so that it not only posts on your wall, but it also posts on Charlie Sheen's wall.
That's definitely useful, so they know when you're talking about them, and so that your friends that are on that page know that you're talking about them as well.
Right. It's a very valuable piece of information, especially for businesses, because you can have your business on somebody else's page. And it's kind of a different way of interaction that gets people coming from their site over to yours.
You want to make sure that you're not being too spammy about it. So if you're using quality content from someone's page, say like if I'm a company that fixes up houses and I use a post from HGTV, you can go to HGTV and like their page and then @ tag them. So that way you're giving credit to them and you're putting something of value up, like Joe said earlier, to your readers and to their readers. So everybody's winning, as it would be. Okay, so I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about @ tagging, hashtagging on Twitter. Now, this is where your posts will look a lot different than your Facebook posts. When you @ tag on Twitter, it's basically telling a certain profile that you're talking about them or to them directly. So for Charlie Sheen, say his username is just Charlie Sheen, you'll actually see the @ tag in front of his name. Now you'll also see that there's a hashtag in front of winning, and then at the end of the post we hashtag Tiger Blood as well. Now what you want to do is go to search.twitter.com, and you can see what popular conversations are going on with hashtags and different topics. The hashtag basically makes you a part of a bigger conversation that has been happening on Twitter or is going on constantly. People will search for a hashtag and a keyword, and then they can find all the posts that are related to that topic. So, especially with recent media news, winning, Tiger Blood, and Charlie Sheen are all pretty popular. And if you @ tag Charlie Sheen and people know that you're talking about it, it might help them to realize that it's a post that they're going to be interested in. They might want to retweet you, or they might want to follow your page. Same thing when they're searching for those hashtags. They can definitely say, okay, this person is talking about things that I'm interested in, and then they'll follow your profile. This is especially good for businesses or personal profiles, so you can target people that you would be interested in talking to or having conversations with by hashtagging, and they can find you as well. So that way you don't have spam or 100 profiles that aren't interested in you. You're getting the people who are interested in what you have to say.
And if you noticed, we added Tiger Blood to the end of that. For those of you that aren't up to date on the Charlie Sheen saga, tiger blood was one of his many interesting words used in his interview. And right now, that's a pretty popular hashtag that people are using. So add words, add keywords that are going to make you pop up. And so, which is why we hashtag winning and tiger blood.
And actually, if you already know about hashtags and at tags, I heard that Charlie Sheen's hiring a Twitter intern. I think Rob actually applied for it, and that's why he said he's on vacation.
I have a friend that applied for it.
I do too. So if you're interested in tweeting for Charlie Sheen, you can find his internship application online, I'm sure. And he's definitely going to make sure that you know that you're at tagging and hashtagging, and you know how to find your keywords. And again, I'm going to recommend that if you're writing a post for Twitter or for Facebook or for both, you go to search.twitter.com and hashtags a couple of the words in your post to figure out which are most popular. That way you're getting the most results and the most reach for your posts.
And definitely let us know if one of you guys get that internship, because I would love to stop by and meet him.
Alex has a secret crush and love on Charlie Sheen. She spent about 4 hours watching the interview video back to back one morning, so.
Yeah, I have it on replay quite a bit.
I think she's got the entire interview memorized at this point.
Okay, so the last part that I wanted to bring up about that question was how often you should be updating your Facebook and Twitter. There's definitely a differentiation between the two. Facebook, maximum, I would say probably 2 times.
About twice a day, yeah.
Yeah. Versus Twitter, which you're not going to bombard people as much, and they might enjoy the consistent update. Facebook, it just gets to be a little bit too much, and sometimes it's one of the things that can really turn people off from wanting to be involved in your company's Facebook page.
Right. If you're posting too often, people can click on that X by your post and say, hide all posts from this person in their newsfeed, and then they won't hear anything else you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, people are looking for multiple posts, and they're sorting through what they're interested in using hashtags or at tags.
Right.
So you can post as often as you like, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you probably don't want to post every 30 seconds, but every time you get a thought that you think might be valuable to somebody else, post it on Twitter. Save the big posts that are most interesting. You have links or videos or media to share with people for Facebook, and like Alex said, maybe twice a day.
Mm-hmm. So that seems to be about all we have for you this week. If you have questions that come up during the week, please feel free to ask any of us your question. My email is alex@onesocialmedia. Feel free to send me a quick question during the week or VU.
Yeah, we'd really love to get some more VU
Twitter.
questions. We all have our accounts set up, and you can ask each one of us a different question. We all have different specialties as far as the company goes too. Alex is really good at PR stuff. Rob's really good at knowing the different social media sites. I have a background in creativity. So, if you want to get more specific, you can ask each one of us more specific questions. We'll be able to help you out.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us today on The Social Truth, and we hope you come back next time.
Didn't save it.
You want to stop recording, I think.